Uber is a nice little job to have. There's its perks and then there's its cons. The perks of doing Uber is you get to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. There was one day where I made $120 in a span of 2 hours. But there's also the downside of being an Uber driver. You don't know who you're letting into your car. And that's what makes Uber dangerous at times. This is a story about something that happened to me and why I can't do Uber anymore. I'm physically shaken up and mentally scarred. This happened about a year ago. It was a Saturday. It was 11 o'clock p.m. and I was about to wrap up Uber when I got a ride request from a guy named Xavier. I was about to decline the ride request, but then I saw the person was offering to tip me $100 in cash and tip me $100 through the Uber app. Now, this is one of the days when I was making good money, and I already had made about $700. So the fact that I was going to make another $200, which would be about $900, I figured I'll go ahead and accept this last ride request. I accepted it, and I drove. I drove until I found Xavier, and I picked him up. But when he got in the car, something was off about him. He was carrying a large suitcase. He had on dirty, roughed up clothes. The shirt was ripped a little bit at the top and at the bottom. When Xavier got into the car, he told me, "All right, listen up. I'm going to need you to kind of hurry and get to my destination. I'm on a very, 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 very short schedule. That's why I'm tipping you $200. So wherever you need to do, find the quickest route, the quickest shortcut or whatever, just get me there. I'm in a hurry." When he told me that, I was a bit nervous. It was the way he was sounding, the way he was coming off. But besides that, I stayed calm and replied, "Okay, sir, I'll do whatever I can. And thank you for the generous tip." But instead of saying you're welcome, he replied by telling me, "Well, if you don't get me there in time, you're not going to get the tip. Now stop talking to me and let's go." I was taken aback the way he was talking to me. But I pushed my feelings aside and I began the route to his destination. When I got to his destination, I saw that it was a rundown motel. And what made it more creepier, there were 3 other men standing there. The minute I pulled up in front of them near this hotel, all of the 3 men looked at me and the car. Their looks were making me a bit uncomfortable. So I quickly told the man that he reached his destination and he's welcome to get out of the car. But when I turned around, I was staring at the barrel of a gun. This rider named Xavier pulled a gun out on me and told me, "All right, listen up here, player. I'm going to need you to get out of the fucking car. I'm going to need your phone and I'm going to need your wallet because I don't trust you. We need it as our getaway vehicle. You're going to do exactly as I say. And if you don't follow orders, you already know what's going to happen. If you want to live, just do as I'm telling you. Get out of the fucking car. Leave your wallet and your phone in the car. Step out now." After that, my heart pounded so fast. There were so many thoughts going into my head. I was breathing really hard. I was sweating all over profusely. But I did what the man said, and I slowly stepped out of the car. When I did, the 3 other men looked at me with a killer look. I was in part of a town that I didn't know, and it didn't look safe. After I got out of the car, I heard the man talking to the other three guys in a different language. I want to say in Spanish. After they got done talking, the Uber passenger gave his gun to one of the men, and one of the men walked it towards me and spoke something to me in Spanish, but I couldn't understand what he was saying because I don't speak Spanish. But as soon as he was talking, he repeated what he said, but this time in English. And he told me,
"Get down on the ground and put your hands behind your head."
Then I replied, "Wait, are you trying to kill me? Look, sir, I won't say anything. You have my car, my phone, and my wallet. I applied to everything you told me to do. Don't kill me. There gotta be another way. Please, don't. There has to be another way." I nervously pleaded with the man, but his response was cold-hearted, and he had no emotion in his voice. And he told me,
"Yeah, see, that's the thing. I can't trust you. So, I'm gonna give you a mercy killing. Goodbye."
I remember waking up in the hospital, not knowing where I was at or who I was for a brief amount of moment. But once I got more consciously aware and they removed the ventilator out of my mouth, I all of a sudden remember everything. An officer came in and I told him what happened. After I told him what happened, the officer told me something that was very scary and very alarming. It turned out the guy that I picked up was not Xavier at all. They said not too far from where I picked this guy up, they found the body of the real Xavier. He was shot and killed in a gruesome way. And then this imposter took the guy's phone and posed as this Xavier guy. It turns out these guys who robbed me were notorious drug dealers, and they were planning an operation at the hotel I dropped this imposter off at. But unfortunately, I couldn't give the authorities enough information about the guys that robbed me, including the imposter, including the other guy who shot me. So as for right now, they're still at large, and I'm afraid the officers won't be able to find them. But I know one thing, I will never do Uber again. As long as I live, I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid that I'll run into them again.